Hello and welcome to GTO Coach and Go. I'm Jim Delleman with Group Travel Odyssey. I want to thank you for joining us today. And before we get started on today's topic, I do want to remind you, if you've not done this yet, if you are watching us on our YouTube channel, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you ring the bell, you'll be notified anytime that we have new content on that channel. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn at Group Travel Odyssey and make sure to like and follow our Facebook page as well. We've got a lot of great content on our social media channels. We've got a lot of great videos on our YouTube channel as well. So do make sure you subscribe to those. Well, today we are going to be talking a little bit about something that's coming up with GTO. It's coming up pretty soon, I would say, but we're going to be talking about upcoming calculation options for trip products. And to help us with that, we're going to bring back our lead engineer, Christina Luth. So Christina, welcome back.
Hello, thank you.
It's good to have you again. So we're going to be talking about upcoming calculation options for trip products. So this is something that we're going to be rolling out soon. Not right now, but soon. So
yes. So this is
go ahead.
Yeah, so this is going to be available to you most likely next week, probably towards the end of the week for everybody. And right now we are, if you're interested in, getting involved in the opportunity, just let us know. But without further ado, I'm going to move into what we're actually talking about today.
That sounds great. Okay, so here we go.
All right. So there's four new fields that will be available that have to do with calculations in your trips in both Sales Manager and Trip Manager. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the number of overflow rooms. So right now we are going to go to a product. So I am on a proposal in Sales Manager currently, and I'm going to go to my hotel product on this trip. And this is what we're going to do today. So the budget for overflow rooms, when you check it, there's a new field for number of rooms. You can put in any number there. It's going to, of course, default to one room like it has already been doing, but you can update it to as many as you like. So if you're not familiar with this or you have not been using it yet, this is that situation where maybe you're going to have an odd number of people. So you want most of your travelers to be in rooms of quad, so rooms of 4 people. But maybe you're not going to be able to do that numerically. And since you might have an odd number at the end, maybe you have 6 people and you don't want 2 and 4, you want a 3 and 3. So this would allow you to have some of that flexibility when you're calculating your hotel product for how many of these overflow rooms that you would want. So those are going to be beyond what their initial calculation of how many rooms would be needed. So whatever the number is, you can put as many in as you like. Just go ahead and check that budget for overflow rooms, and then that's going to allow you to put in the number there. Again, if you don't put any number into this box, it is just going to default to 1. So if you want to turn that off, just uncheck it, and then it would, again, not budget in for those overflow rooms. All right, so that is field number 1. The next type is going to be on a motor coach. So we're going to go ahead and go to a motor coach quote here. So here is my motor coach quote. And this is the new one here. We have had a lot of people ask about this one, so I know there's going to be several people in the crowd excited about it, which is a flat driver gratuity on your motor coach quote. So we have had this option for a per person per day fee, which is still available. But if you do want to put in, let's just say a flat rate of, like I have put in here, $100, you can do that now. So you don't have to use the option for that per person per day. You can put in just whatever you would like to give that per bus driver gratuity. So that when you put that in there, it will carry over to, let's go over to the motor coach product. When you've created that product off of your quote, you'll see it does carry over and it will be a part of your motor coach total. And you can do what I have here. You can have both kinds of gratuity or just one or the other. So that allows you to have a little flexibility about what you might want to do for that gratuity rate. All right. And now on to the third type. And this is another one I know we've heard a lot about, so we're going to have some applause in the audience. And that's going to be on attraction type products of include tour director or include driver. So those types of products where you have an individual price. So it might be things like this one is admission. Maybe you have like a ticket. For those of you who are going to, theme parks, maybe it's a theme park ticket. So if this is something where you need to include your tour director or your driver or both, maybe a meal, maybe you want both to have a meal, you can now check this box and it will include those in your total adult price. You can see changing there and ultimately the individual cost for this product. So when I clicked those, you can see it pops up with what that number is that would be included. That is based off of what has been entered onto your proposal in Sales Manager. So if you did override the number of tour directors, it would reflect that. Otherwise, it's going to use that calculated number. And those number of drivers, that's off of that number of buses. Ultimately, that's calculated on your proposal based on what you have that capacity for that bus and the number of people going on your trip. So those are the numbers that would be added into this price. And again, if you want to turn that off, you just uncheck them. It goes back to what it is. So the one thing also I wanted to explain, when you check this, it adds into the total cost for this product, but just so to assure you, so the total cost per person, that's ultimately taking the total cost for this product, and it's still just dividing by the number of people actually paying. So we're not going to divide out by that tour director and driver because obviously they're not going to be paying for their trip usually. So that is something that it's still going to just divide out by the number of paying passengers. We're just adding in a cost. So just to explain that a little bit further, that is just a cost being added, which would then be divided out by the same number of people.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck those. And then I'm going to quick go over to Trip Manager to show you how that comes up over here. So just make sure I'm over Trip Manager here. Okay. All right. So this is the same trip that's over in Trip Manager. And I just wanted to show you those three fields will carry over to here where you can then see what you budgeted and ultimately book it, what you want later. So the first one was that overflow rooms. So we're going to go ahead and edit this hotel product. And right now you can find that. And since overflow rooms is just a booked figure, that's right over here. So when you want to have that budgeted for overflow rooms, it would be the same thing of checking that budgeted for overflow rooms and putting in a number. So this really should just be your budgeted, meaning it's coming from your trip product in Sales Manager. Ultimately, when you have this hotel product in Trip Manager, you're going to be using things like this final number of rooms, booked number of each of these types of rooms and nights, and that's going to be your actuals. But for those of you who want to be able to see what you budgeted over there, and maybe even if you're going to use our repricing option in Trip Manager, this might be important for you to pay attention to of how you budgeted for those overflow rooms. So making sure, like I said, I guess for the repricing, that's going to be important to notice so you get that price you want to give to your customers. All right, then we're going to go back out of this one. We're going to not save those changes. And let's go to the motor coach. So I'm going to edit this one. So the motor coach, what you're going to see is there was already an option to do a booked driver gratuity flat. Over here, it's just called group. So when you have that ultimate gratuity that you've given to the drivers, your booked amount is going to be what you basically handed them, whether it was cash, check, whatever you're going to use. That is going to be your booked. But now you can also see that budgeted number here. So when you are putting in your confirm booking or ultimately your, maybe it might be in your guarantee booking phase because that's probably towards the end of your trip, if not during your trip, then you'll be able to compare that to your budgeted number here. All right, and then finally, those included check boxes. So we're just going to go ahead over to here. So again, that's usually coming up on things like admission, those per person individual amounts. So right now you can see under this product passenger numbers section, you will now find these budgeted included driver and budgeted include tour director. So we still do have these ones that are for the booked of don't include driver or tour director in the booking, but this is just to provide you with that information of how it was budgeted into the trip originally in Sales Manager. So if you did include that into your price, you would then be able to know that and then confirm accordingly. And with all of that being said, the reason this is not being released today is we are still working through some calculations, just doing our final checks for all of this in here. So if you would like to get involved in checking this, the way these new calculations are working, our beta opportunity, please reach out to us. You can reach out to help@gtonetwork.com and just let us know that you want to be in the beta testing for the new calculation fields, and we can make it live for you. Just know that as we're in this phase of testing, some things just need to be worked out, and that's why we really value feedback. So that's what the phase we're in right now is we're testing this out, and then we're going to make that live to you hopefully by the end of next week.
That's fantastic. Wow, excellent. You were saying that this was basically developed because of feedback and stuff that we got as well. So again, we need people to beta test, but we also want to encourage you, as always, to make sure to reach out to us. If you have ideas, if you have things that you would like to see in the system, the way that we make the system more robust and to make it more efficient for your use is with your feedback. So don't ever hesitate to contact us to say, hey, is there a way that we can do this? Is there a way we can show, is there a way that we can put in a flat gratuity instead of a per person gratuity? Those are the kind of things that we will put in, and a lot of them aren't huge builds. So they don't, they don't have to go. Some are, yes, but some don't have to go into that huge pipeline that's going to take months to do. So we do prioritize depending upon what needs to happen, but also if there are easier projects, there are things that we can work on, and Christina and her team are phenomenal at getting those things done. So reach out, let us know. These are the kind of things that we love talking about, because it does go to show that your thoughts and your input on this are helping this system continue to evolve. As we've always said, it's never going to be a static system. It's going to be something that's going to continually evolve and become more efficient for you. So feedback, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And, wanted to give a quick shout out from our supplier team. I forgot to mention it while I was sharing. So just a quick shout out, because they've been getting a lot of, like you said, feedback and requests for information about festivals. I guess right now is the festival booking season. So just a reminder, if you have different rates, so that would be a quote. So that would be usually a receptive, although you could also use accommodation, but we usually use receptive for those types of festivals, where you can put in your different amounts, such as like if you have a different quad, triple, double, single, you can put that in there. So just a quick shout out from our supplier team about how to book those festivals.
Absolutely. Excellent. Excellent. And again, if you want to be part of beta testing, please reach out to us. help@gtonetwork.com and put help in the subject line. And also, if you just want to put beta testing in there, that way we'll know exactly who those help tickets will go to. They'll go to Christina, so she knows who to reach out to. But we would love your input. We would love to have you test these things out. And again, they will most likely end up being live in the next couple of weeks, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Yeah. Great. Well, Christina, thank you as always for joining us and giving us this information. There's always so much that's going on in the system, and we love that you actually take your time out to meet with everybody and give these important updates. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Just a reminder, GTO Coach and Go does happen every other Tuesday at 2:00 Eastern time. So you'll be able to see Christina, myself, other people from our team, It's usually Christina and myself, but there will be others that are going to be joining us as well. Sometimes we will be bringing on some of our community members as well, some of our member companies, and we did that with Stacy Berry a couple weeks ago. And Stacy, if you are watching, thank you again. That was a fantastic Coach and Go, so we really appreciate that. But again, every other Tuesday, we're going to be having GTO Coach and Go. Once we're done with these, once they're done being live, they do go on our YouTube channel as well. So again, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the little bell so that way you're notified anytime we have new content on the YouTube channel as well. Follow us on LinkedIn. You can like us on Facebook as well. Keep in touch with us any way that you possibly can. We do appreciate that, and we also appreciate your feedback. So thank you again for joining us today, and if you have any questions, please reach out to us. And Christina, thank you so much. So take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of GTO Coach and Go. We invite you to stay connected with Group Travel Odyssey on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and be sure to check out more of our media, including Destination Dispatch and the Destinations Beyond Expectations podcast. Please visit our website, grouptravelodyssey.com, where you can learn more about GTO and request a demo. Group Travel Odyssey, business without boundaries.